Good afternoon and welcome to episode 4 of Virtual GM. I'm Cody
Spencer Halford.
And for our 12 followers who've been watching all the episodes, you'll notice we've got water today. I think what makes a podcast good is you get to know people and know their lives. That's what makes it interesting. So for me, I actually would have had whiskey today, but I am doing Wild Fit, which is this health process of like learning how to eat seasonally and eat better, and soon I won't be able to have alcohol anymore. I can right now, to make the most of it, but I'll let Spencer share why he's drinking water.
Yeah, I'm competing in a CrossFit competition that's coming up. It's the second week of August. So every time I do that, I just cut out alcohol for an entire month. So last year I did it and was really glad I did it. I didn't drink all the way up until the night of competition. So
and then you could have the celebratory beer in it. It's all that much more enjoyable.
It was a celebratory a lot more than
yeah,
we had a ton. Actually, the competition's at one of our properties. You already know that, but it's the coolest event that I've ever been to.
So I think that might be a good segue. What we wanted to talk about today, we've already kind of introed Vibrant. You see, we don't have a guest today, and so I thought, we talked about who we are, but we haven't talked about our clients yet. So let's just go through all of our clients, so you guys get a brief understanding of who they are, and we can probably do a whole episode on every property. But for today, as an intro, we're just going to kick it off. You want to start with where you're headed for your rest of the games?
Yeah, I was going to say Cougar Ridge would be a really great place to start that off with. So Cougar Ridge is located in Torrey, Utah, and it's a ranch-style property. Cougar Ridge is also part of Small Luxury Hotels of the World, and
which is really cool.
Yeah, it's a really cool. In fact, I was on their website today, and just in the state of Utah, there are only 2 properties that are part of Small Luxury Hotels of the World, which would be the Stein Eriksen Lodge, and then Cougar Ridge, of course. Torrey is situated right next to Capitol Reef National Park, and it's really not that far away from like Bryce Canyon.
Well, it's a great base camp. Yeah, you can get to all the parks from there. It's like, and then you can do Hell's Backbone, and actually my favorite hike in Utah, Lower Calf Creek Falls, is really close.
Lower Calf Creek Falls, because that's in Escalante, right?
Yeah.
And so Escalante to Torrey's probably an hour. Hell's Backbone, I did that on the way to Torrey one time.
It's terrifying.
It was frightening.
I hate it.
I love driving too.
We did a car rally actually to Cougar Ridge, from St. George to Cougar Ridge with a bunch of exotic cars, and we drove out there, went over Hell's Backbone. Yeah. And I hated it. And I was like in the middle of the pack, so I had to drive harder than I wanted. I'm afraid of heights. And on the way back, we stopped at lunch at Hell's Backbone, this iconic, awesome restaurant there. And like everyone was still eating, and I was like, this is my chance. And so I tipped out, and so I could drive at my leisure, And then got caught up with the group, and Brett calls me, he's like, where'd you go? I was like, I didn't want the pressure of driving with you guys on Hell's Backbone.
Yeah, you should Google Hell's Backbone in Escalante, Utah, because it is amazing. It's something everyone should do, but definitely at your leisure. I was in a Ford Raptor the first time I did it and was cruising up it. Ugh. That was a mistake. I had to pump the brakes on that. That was Breck's Raptor when I went out there.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's like, nope, I'm going to take it easy this time. And then the very first time I went out there was in my Tesla, and just Tesla charging is inconvenient altogether. But Cougar Ridge had Tesla chargers for me.
It's like the only place out there, I'd imagine.
Most likely it is. Yeah, I would imagine that's probably the only place that you can actually charge would be Cougar Ridge.
Cool thing about Cougar Ridge too is that was one of our first clients. We started working with them in December of 2018. Vibrant started in April of 2018, and we took them through the whole brand process. It was our first client actually that we individually took through our branding process, created their brand, updated their logo, redid their website, really created Cougar Ridge as you know it digitally today.
A lot of sales collateral.
All from that, their room books and all their marketing efforts, and it holds a special place in my heart. I mean, it's one of the coolest properties you could ever go to. It's in the process of building out, right, stage by stage, and we just added our conference center, which is awesome to host events. That'd be cool, because I don't think you guys got to use that last year.
No, we didn't.
Right?
We had to go to the Torrey Public Park.
Yeah, so
right
now,
in the middle of town,
now you should be able to use the conference center, which is going to be epic. The pool's getting built. We only had the 2-bedroom units before. We have these amazing 2-bedroom casitas. They're about 1,300 square feet. One's got 2 queen beds. The other's got a king. It's got a nice living room area in the middle. I mean, the most idealistic place you could ever take a family. But now we're also building a pool, which is going to be an absolute game changer. And I really believe that it's also going to be the best resort in Utah.
Yeah, I think it will too. It's also Capstone. There's a beautiful lodge that's there too that has plenty of room for like a great family vacation. If you want to have like a small intimate wedding, it's perfect for that too.
Oh yeah, I mean we've had a couple celebrities that have come out and say that it's 24,000 square feet. It's 4 stories, movie theater, bowling alley. It's got this amazing wood workshop. It's got
has its own brewery,
chef's kitchen, wine cellar. I mean, anything you could ever desire. It's got 4 suites, 2 of which have their own private hot tubs right offside the room. The other 2 open up to the wrapping deck. I mean, it's truly a work of art. I mean, the sandstone is hand chiseled.
Yeah.
The walls are 18 inches thick. It's something special.
It's perfect for us too. I mean, it's just a small group of friends. There's probably 40 of us that are going to compete in this competition, and we are going to take up 100% of the property and stay as a group on the property. In fact, it's starting to overflow into one of our other properties now. I just had 2 friends book the Chuck Wagon.
Oh, they did?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yep.
And we've got Fort Desolation that's going out there too. Huge concert coming up, and gosh, it's about.
It's in August, isn't it?
Yeah, August 12th, I think. So yeah, we're getting close. A really huge event. Check that out. We'll throw up some stuff on our video so you guys can see that. But CougarRidge.com, I highly suggest it. We can just stay in Torrey and go to the Chuck Wagon. So the Chuck Wagon is just right down the street from Cougar Ridge. The difference is Chuck Wagon is on just that main drag. Really cool story. So we met the owners from being at Cougar Ridge, and just kind of built a friendship with them and said like, look, we'd love to work with you guys, and I think there's some things that we can help you with. And they didn't really have any digital content. They didn't have like an official logo. They had a picture of a neon sign that they used, but no like actual artwork.
And it was just like a rattlesnake that said open, right?
It was a tree. It's a tree.
Oh, it's a
but
tree.
It's neon lights, so that would be an easy mistake. And so we went through their branding process, and I think November of this year, their off season, which was so exciting because they've got this historic property. Butch Cassidy used to take like his stolen gold there to go buy stuff in the general store, and because it's like back in Outlaws existed, they didn't even keep the register in the stores. After someone bought something, they had a pulley system, and they had upstairs where they had the safe and bars, and they would put the money in the pulley system and pull it upstairs with someone with like a shotgun to protect the money, because that's how the times were. So that single family has owned it for over 70 years.
I was talking to Jamie about that actually last time I was out there, and he was saying that Butch Cassidy would sleep right across the street from that too.
Yeah. Yep.
And then the dance hall was at the end of the city, kind of where Cougar Ridge is at now.
Yeah.
And he would go down there and dance after he'd done that.
A lot of history there. So just an amazing story, and they weren't telling it very effectively on their digital footprint. So actually, we were just going over their numbers today. And if you'd watch our previous episodes, we were saying you want to really compare this year against 2019,
right?
Because that's your last year that things were normal. And so today, when we're looking at it, they already have beat 2019's numbers, gross, and their ADR, average daily rate for those of you not in hospitality, so the average rate of your room is up $47 per night over their 2019 numbers, and that's with no renovations to the property. That's all digital presence.
Yep. Yeah, and I was gonna say, like, it's easy to say they did that, but I mean, if we hadn't approached them in 2019, like,
absolutely, that's a reflection.
That's not just the market.
That's a reflection of rate strategy.
Yep.
Because we're doing the revenue management, and undoubtedly their digital presence. I mean, the experience you have now digitally, booking a room at Chuck Wagon versus previous is not even close.
Yeah. But even the brand too, like I remember going to Torrey to compete last year in the Torrey games and walking into the Chuck Wagon to get something to eat, and none of that signage was up.
Oh yeah.
None of the, there was no menu that they could hand me.
That's the thing about the Chuck Wagon is you don't go to Torrey and not experience the Chuck Wagon.
You almost have to.
The Chuck Wagon is Torrey.
It kind of monopolizes it in the best of ways.
Oh yeah, you can't go there and not experience it. So
that's correct.
It's a great property. I'll let you kick off another one.
Yeah, that is an amazing property. I'll take it just right down the list. Let's start with Flanigans.
Oh yeah.
Sunny Canyon, yeah. Flanigans is a really unique property. It's that ground has probably been in that family since it was staked, I would imagine, right?
Oh yeah, they've owned it for the second generation now of ownership, and
a
cool story with them too, because Breck, obviously his family growing up at the Cliff Rose, and then this owner grew up with them, right?
Yep.
They were both kids, and then they became adults and took over their parents' properties, and so with Flanigans, we just did a refresh. They have an amazing brand. I mean, who they are, what they are, their hotel, their spa, their restaurant, best restaurant in Springdale. It already had a brand, It just didn't have it digitally, and so we refreshed it a little bit so we could talk about them in a more eloquent way. Really to be able to go after our target market, updated their website, and talk about it, a change. From their website previous to now, and just their whole way that, again, they're spoken about digitally is incredible.
Yeah, even the way that they were updating their website was just uploading a new PDF onto a page that you couldn't click. There was no action, no brand, no design, no thought. And what's interesting about the property is it is one of the nicer properties up the canyon, and it's a really great destination stay too. Like if you're a couple, you're going to go on your honeymoon, or you want a staycation and you live here in Washington County, or you want to get away from the kids or whatever, this is the perfect couples retreat. It's an all-in-one stop. There's a spa, there's a salon, which is the only salon in Springdale, by the way. Wow. I just learned that 2 weeks ago. I was up there. Only salon in Springdale. They have probably the most amazing restaurant in the county, would be my guess.
Yeah, no, that's probably actually true. They definitely have the largest wine list. I know they just won an award for that. Yeah. They have a sommelier, which no one has down here. I mean, their food is bonkers.
Yeah, they have a real life sommelier there. I can't remember if I already said the spa or not, but their spa is legendary. They even have a wet room spa too. And now with all of their spa packages, it includes at a minimum a 10-minute sound bath too.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, they've got that cool labyrinth at the top of their property. Yep. I mean, that really is an experiential journey where if I was going to do a date night, or if someone said, where should I take my wife, where should I take my husband, vice versa, I think the Flanigans would probably be my recommendation for looking for.
It absolutely is. And there's some really unique places there too. Like there's 2 villas across the street that are part of the property.
Oh, those are epic.
That I would say are the nicest units in the town.
They're incredible.
Certainly. The owner's original house is actually back up on the hill behind it, and you can rent and stay in that.
That's cool.
And I didn't know that until I was up there either. And then I got the tour, and sure enough, Breck and the owner had been up there and played there and been up the hill where the Labyrinth is now. And I mean, it was very, very interesting property, but one of the coolest in the canyon.
It's one of the cool things about Vibrant is we've got some of these properties that have this like real family heritage, and so we can really even just jump across the street to the Cliff Rose, because that's literally what it is basically.
Yeah, you're the best one to talk
across the street up a little bit. This one will certainly deserve an entire episode.
This one deserves a series.
Yeah, right.
I mean, everything we do is based off the Cliff Rose.
A docu-series.
I talk about the Cliff Rose every day.
Yeah, Vibrant only exists because of the Cliff Rose, truthfully. And so this is the property that was in Breck's family, started it back in 1989, and got to a point that, they were leading out in the canyon, and they were definitely the premier destination. 7 acres of botanical gardens. It's a small little boutique property, only 52 rooms, but we have a bunch of suites, so it's almost like it's a 72 room property. And we got to this point that we really couldn't grow. We couldn't add any more rooms. The only way we would grow is through rate. And so Breck wanted to take his family's property through the process of becoming a 4-diamond resort, which was really one of his dad's dreams and wishes. But you try and do it on your own, and AAA just won't play ball. They're not going to do it on your own.
And there's no guarantee.
Yeah, and you can't invest all this money without any guarantee of knowing you're going to get it. So it made the most sense for us to join a national brand. And so he really had thought we'd go autograph first.
Yeah.
And had the Marriott team come out, and then we were like, well, we obviously should check Hilton too. Why wouldn't we? And Marriott does have a larger audience and more members, but the experience with Hilton was just unbelievable. And then our PIP, which is our property improvement plan, was like a third the size of what Marriott's was. So it helped make the decision a little bit easier. And so it officially became a Curio in December of 2019, so pretty terrible timing. Right as we were ready to finally reap the rewards of all the work we put in. COVID hit us pretty hard, but luckily we ended the year really strong. And 2021 was a banner year, and it's just incredible. It's now the #1 Curio in the United States currently right now. And there isn't a place that's more magical than this.
Yeah.
I mean, I can remember when I started, I'd work down in the conference room, and so I'd walk through the grounds, and you walk down by the pool and turn left and walk up the river towards the canyon. And it was just every day would be like, oh my gosh, I can't even believe this is where I work, Just this magical feeling, just this energy about the property. And I don't want to talk too much about it because I want to do a whole episode on it. I don't have Breck here for that. Yeah, it'd be actually cool to even have Breck, Allison, and Colin do a roundtable conversation about the whole property. But that's one that's really special. You got to look that one up. CliffRoseLodge.com.
Yeah, that one is absolutely amazing. I'll transition and we can step out of Zion for a bit and go to our property in Washington State. with Ilwaco, or excuse me, in Ilwaco. And that property is called the Salt Hotel and Pub. And this is actually a property, crazy enough, we haven't even been to yet.
Not yet, had the chance. I hope to go there in September.
I was going to say, I know it's on your list to hit.
Yeah.
But I think, all of us would certainly love to hit it. But we do know a lot about the property, and we've really loved working with the owners. It's a smaller boutique property, but what it lacks in size, it definitely makes up for in charm. It's sitting right on it. It's a port. Right? So, so you can look right into the water.
Or the harbor, I guess, with the docks for all the boats.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, the harbor. Yep. So it's on the harbor. And also, Ilwaco is really, really close to Astoria, Oregon. It's literally just right across the bridge. And then also very close to, is it the Cape of Disappointment?
Yeah.
I know I say that weird every time.
I think that's what it's called.
Cape of Disappointment. If you haven't heard of the Cape of Disappointment, you have to Google it. It's absolutely amazing. My brother lived in Portland, and he said that people were talking about it, and Portland is 3 hours away from the Cape of Disappointment.
Wow.
Yeah. And Portland is also kind of you can stay there and be happy or miserable, depending on.
If you don't like the sun.
Yeah, right. Yeah, so, but that one's amazing. They have an excellent restaurant that draws a lot of the town people in, which would be part of their pub. But that one's kind of you don't need to go too far either. They have really clean, fresh, modern rooms. Their restaurant is excellent. You can rent gear to fish right out of the bottom of the property. They even have like surfing stuff down there.
I really can't wait to experience it.
I know, yeah, it's a really unique property. You should check that one out too. Just do a quick Google search for Salt Hotel.
Okay, well then I'll jump into Labyrinth. So Labyrinth is kind of a gateway city to Zion. This property, if I was going to design my own properties, build out my own properties, this is the footprint that I would take. So they utilize virtual GM, which is really cool. And this ownership team really dove into it and went to all the seminars and learned all the things. And they've actually taught us a lot about different systems and processes and things that exist that make your vacation rental units more successful. And so it's 17 units that are literally on the edge of the cliff. So all of them just border this rim, and then there's one property called On the Edge that actually is on pillars hanging over the edge of the cliff.
If you go over the fence, you'll die.
Yeah, that's it, down to the bottom. Mm-hmm. And it's got the Virgin River that runs right below it. We just put up an amazing reel today. Check out dwellings.co on Instagram. It's got this amazing section of the river that's all shaded, has a swing, it's got a rope, the water's perfect. It's
part of Confluence Park, isn't it?
Right in front of my Confluence Park. It's got this beautiful color to it. I mean, it is absolutely stunning. And it's 5 minutes to get to the bottom of it. Yeah. Incredible. They've also got e-bike rental on site, and they're right next door to probably the best coffee in all of southern Utah.
Agreed.
And an amazing little restaurant.
Really good restaurant too.
Yeah, so you've really got, again,
good local beers in there too.
Yeah, they do. Yep. Yeah. So it's really got everything you need right there, and they're this collection of tiny homes, really small square footage. They do have a couple units that are called the stackers that have an upstairs section as well. So it's got bunk beds in it if you want to bring your kids. But just one of the coolest places you could ever stay. I mean, if you look at our TripAdvisor, I mean, it's almost only entirely 5-star reviews. And it's such a cool property because we don't have on-site staff. We've got the e-bikes there now, but it's all ran virtually with locks and with text message communication and utilizing our virtual GM system. And so that's one that we'll talk in more detail about too, because I think for anyone going into it now, if you're not building a hotel with 100 plus rooms, but you want to get into hospitality, I think their model is the way to do it.
Yeah, what's also really cool that I don't believe you mentioned is that for southern Utah, it's one of the only, I shouldn't say one of the only, but it is really one of the only pet-friendly properties that's in this really
where you can stay pets in any unit.
Yeah, in any unit. Check out their website too, the dwellings.co. It's dwellings.co.
Yep. Yeah, and it's got every unit is individually fenced with either a yard or like a deck or a balcony. Most of them have yards, so your animals can go out there. It's got astroturf, so it doesn't. It always looks green all around the year. It's beautiful. Yeah. It's a great property. And one of the coolest things is they don't have their pool yet. So they don't have the amenities just yet, but they are bringing up a pool. They've got this container style look to them, and they're going to do a container pool that again cantilevers off the edge. And we'll have a peekaboo window to look down.
It's going to be amazing.
It's going to be so freaking cool.
I know that one will be really cool. All right, well, we'll jump to Mesquite, Nevada now for the Highland Estates and Resort. This is one of our newer properties that we've taken on.
Yeah, really exciting.
Yeah, so just like Cody talked about for branding for the Chuck Wagon, we're actually doing that same exact process, but for this new property. And this property has probably one of the most unique histories, and because that would just take so long, we won't go into all of that.
Yeah.
But it's a really unique property because Mesquite, Nevada is a gambling town, and really like casino is a big industry there.
Right.
In fact, like the 3 biggest hotels there, the Eureka, the Virgin River, and the Casablanca, are all big because of their casino floor. And
that's what drives the traffic.
Yep, this property has no casino floor, and that's actually what we believe is going to drive the same traffic.
Yeah, because if you're going to bring your family, it's the place to go. We just went there last week to do content, and their pool is incredible.
Yeah, their pools.
Yeah, pools. Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it was so fun, and the water was just perfect, and having the waterfall, like it was an awesome setting. And there's palm trees, and it's beautiful. And
Clean
even
rooms.
though it was so hot, it didn't matter.
They're all suite style.
Suites, right?
Yep, 100%.
Yeah, if you have a family, that's the place to go.
That absolutely is the place to go. It's clean, it's welcoming. It even just like feels like home, like people call you by name there.
Yeah, it's got that total homey feel. When you walk in, the front desk staff is amazing. They've got someone there who's worked at the front desk for 8 years, so it's like she knows what's going on there. She's an amazing lady to work with.
She definitely does.
It's a good property.
Absolutely it is, yep.
Okay, well, I'll go to the bungalows. Bungalows is our newest property. It's not even actually open yet. Today is July 28th, so it opens on August 10th, so we're close.
Coming up, yeah.
Like we're almost to the opening. We've been working with them since January of this year, just getting things ready. A fun and exciting one for us because we got to get in from the very beginning, help with their brand, get their website going. We built out their PMS, built out all their OTAs. Like we've got to be a part of it from the beginning. When we started working with them, they were just framed, you know. So to have to be able to be involved in the whole process has been really, really fun. And it's 12 units, similar to the dwellings. It's got like that small modern footprint. What's unique about this is it's actually in the canyon and it has views abound. I mean, every window you look out, it's just views, 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 views. And they did such a good job because it's a small parcel of land. Like it's unique. It's an L-shaped parcel of land, and they figured out how to fit them all in and make it so that you still have these amazing views. You've got balconies. The design elements are awesome. Just like all the little touches. Right. They did such a good job, and it's brand new. So you really, you can't get anything better than that. You can start booking for them now, bungalows@zion.com. In fact, their website goes live tomorrow. So that's how new it is. But we can't wait to bring guests out to that property. They're also going to be utilizing the virtual GM and taking advantage of all the things that technology has that exist and creating a really cool experience for the guests.
Yeah, that's really exciting. We'll skip out of Zion again and move to Hilldale. And most of you probably never heard of Hilldale. Hilldale is right on the border of Utah and Arizona. Right on the border of Utah and Arizona, and the Arizona portion of the city is actually called Colorado City, which is kind of interesting. A long time ago, it was all just bundled into one sweet city called Short Creek. And Water Canyon Resort is actually, it kind of reminds me of dwellings too.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not on a cliff, but very nice, modern, clean, single unit, individual homes.
Beautiful red rocks right behind you.
Yep. Located right in the heart of the town. And the town's actually really coming alive too. Water Canyon is named Water Canyon because right up the road is a place that is a natural spring, and you can go and pump your own water out of a spigot out of the spring, and it's actually the cleanest water that you can pull out of the mountain in the western United States.
It's the best water there is.
It also tastes amazing. I have it delivered to my home.
Yeah, a lot of people do that. It's so good.
Yeah, so we have that property, and that one's just come online. I actually was even thinking that's our newest property as far as maybe one that's running.
Yeah.
But you are correct. Bungalows would be the newest there. But the Water Canyon Resort is amazing, and what's even cooler about it is kind of a 2-for-1 right down the street from it, same ownership, is also the Water Canyon Winery. And I can't rave enough about the
best wine, and it's wine in its truest form.
Correct.
Because obviously, when they're selling wine globally in mass production, you got to put preservatives and nitrates in it to make it last, so it can have a shelf life.
Yeah.
This is literally just the grapes.
It's just the grapes, and the owner is extremely passionate about the wine too. So this is the type of property that you can just walk onto, do a tasting, do a tour. He will pour it right out of the vat for you and let you taste it without ever having it hit a bottle or having it be stopped up. When I was just
and the grounds are just beautiful. The way that they designed it, they've got this cool.
They're beautiful events too.
Yeah, no, very cool.
Yeah.
And what's nice about it, if you're a wine drinker, is you don't get hangovers because it's all organic and natural and no nitrates, and gosh, it's delicious.
So I was out there, and he gave me a Zinfandel wine, and he put 2 oak cubes. He just tossed them in there,
Oh, that's
And I was
cool.
like, that was kind of a weird thing to do. And he's like, just let it sit for 5 minutes. And this was, the personal touch,
Yeah.
Shane's not a sommelier, but he
knows
carries the same passion, It's his project, it's his baby. So I let it sit for 5 minutes, and it was a completely different wine. And it was absolutely
so
amazing.
cool.
He'll sell you an individual bottle, you can take it home. I have mine that are hand signed by him.
Yeah, now we're
Really
working on
experience.
this next week. We'll start working on our marketing packages, so you can do a 2-night stay or more at Water Canyon, and they get a private wine tasting at Water Canyon Winery. So really exciting stuff coming for them. And
cool.
another nice thing, they do have parking right outside your unit, and they've got little yards too.
Yeah.
So a great place, and another great base camp. You can go there. You can go to Tuaweep, which is the Grand Canyon.
That is
one of the most
amazing.
epic views in all of the world. It's the only spot in the Grand Canyon where you can be at the top and see the river. Just absolutely magic, especially at nighttime. The night sky out there is unreal. All right, so then I'll go back into Zion and go to Watchman Villas. Watchman Villas is a collection of 5 vacation rentals that's in a little mixed-use community, so I'll just hit a couple of them right now, because in that same complex is also Greater Zion e-bikes, which just opened a month ago. We talked about the reels on Instagram last week, I think. Really, really cool way to experience Zion is on an e-bike. You don't have to wait in line. You can skip the shuttles. You have unobstructed 360-degree views of the canyon. There's really not a cooler way to do it, and it's not so hard because the motor will help you out.
Yeah,
So it's
right.
a lot more enjoyable. And also right there in that property, we have Feel Love Coffee, which is really rivals with River Rock as the most popular coffee in southern Utah. So really, you've got everything that you need there. You can rent your e-bikes, you can get your coffee. Feel Love also has a bar, and they've got a restaurant, so you can do food and drinks in the evenings. So these 5 units, we've got 3 2-bedroom units and 2 1-bedroom units. 3 of the properties have their own hot tubs for the unit, and one of them is on the rooftop, and so it sits above Feel Love and Greater Zion e-bikes, and it's got this beautiful deck, so when you're in the hot tub, you're just looking up canyon, and they just barely, they were new, they were built in 2016, but they just re-renovated, put all new furniture in, and gave it a complete facelift, and we're actually, everything, we're in the middle of doing a refresh for them too, so their website's gonna see a whole new refresh with a rebranding. It's still Watchman Villas, but we're just updating it a little bit. That is really one of my favorite places to stay with my family, because I love that you've got the full kitchen, you've got the living room, you've got the space, because I've got kids, and so even the 1-bedroom unit with my kids, because it's got the pull-out, is plenty. And if you're lucky enough to have a 2-bedroom, that's just a dream. But truly, one of the best places I think to stay in Zion, because you've got everything right there in that little community, and then you've got all the space.
I agree. Yeah, it really can't be beat. Staying in Zion and just headed back up to Cliff Rose would be the 5 Pedal Spa. This is one of the amenities that Cliff Rose has to offer. This is one of our clients as well. We run their advertising for them. You can check them out on Instagram. You can find them on Facebook. Check out their website, tripping over my words, 5pedalspa.com. This one is amazing. I have been to a lot of spas all over the world, and this is bar none the best one I've ever been to. That's amazing. Their relaxation room is
Real Housewives of Salt Lake.
Yeah.
Went to the spa. I was on TV last year.
Yeah, and it's just really spacious too. That's one thing that I've even noticed is lacking here in St. George, like even Red Mountain Spa. I just feel like it's kind of confined. Yeah, but this one was really big, spacious. The relaxation room even poured outside a little bit, so I could sit. I was on the lawn. I looked right into the Zion Canyon. Had the best massage of my entire life, and then spent another hour in the relaxation room after. So you should absolutely check that out.
Yeah, whether you're staying at the Cliff Rose or not, you got to go up there. Even if you live locally, go check it out. Or if you're in the canyon staying at another property, guests are welcome for anywhere, and it is amazing.
Yeah, and then I went to dinner right next door to Whiptail, actually.
Oh yeah, Whiptail's awesome.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Okay, so then I'll go to. I won't talk about the name of this property because it's in the middle of the transition. But there's another exciting property, a 70-room property that we are in the process of converting to a tapestry. So the Curio with Hilton is 4 diamond, and the tapestry is just right below that. In fact, we just had our branding day, so if you follow us on Instagram, you would have seen us in one of the coolest offices you've ever seen, working on sticky notes and coming up with our branding. And so we're in the middle of a renaming, building out this new brand, building out our demographics. We just had our call today with our architects and designers to go over all the updates we're going to make to it. I can't wait to talk more about it, because I really believe when we're done, this will be one of the flagship properties for the Hilton family. I'm just super excited.
This is going to be the one that Hilton puts on their homepage.
Yeah,
and it is amazing.
It's going to be.
It's going to be amazing.
It's going to be incredible.
Just even speaking of that too, and again, I won't mention the name of this property, but today I was at a property.
For those of you listening to the podcast version, we still have not figured out how to keep our one camera rolling continuously for more than 30 minutes.
The answer is to buy a new camera.
So that's what that was.
So just today I was actually up at another property that we will most likely be also taking through the same conversion process, which is really exciting.
Yeah, I can't wait. I really hope that comes through.
Yeah,
that'll be a real gem.
Yep, but won't say where or who or anything like that, but that one is really exciting for us too. I think it's my turn, right?
Yeah.
Yep. So this is the last one that I've got to talk about today. This one is located in Kanab, Utah, which is Utah's Hollywood. It is a beautiful red rock area, very similar to southern Utah, St. George, Washington area. But it contains a lot of like really cool natural places like slot canyons that are outside of the national park.
Yeah, coral pink sand dunes.
Mm-hmm. Yep, very close to Toro Weep as well.
Yeah,
horseback
and Lake Powell too. That's
Lake
a
Powell,
great spot to go to Lake Powell.
ATVing. The east side of Zion is very accessible from this side, from Kanab as well. And east side of Zion is something magical as well.
And they've got one of the best event centers in Utah too, the Kanab Center. So if you've got like a company or an event that you want to have a place to host,
the
Kanab Lodge is just right across the street from it, and the
yep.
Kanab Center is amazing. And so you can have your whole experience just right there, right in the center and heart of Kanab.
Yeah, there's electric vehicle parking there too, so you can charge up. But the Perry Lodge also offers just an absolutely gourmet breakfast.
Oh, the breakfast is out of bounds.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, it's one of the best.
The Perry Lodge is probably one of the most historic buildings in the city of Kanab as well. Because
oh yeah, I bet you the most historic.
I would agree with that. Yeah. So the history of the Perry Lodge is that there's so much to talk about. But the Perry Lodge, actors would come and stay there from far and wide. John Wayne has stayed there. I think we said Ronald Reagan.
Yeah, you can stay in the rooms. The rooms are labeled that, right?
Yeah,
so like Frank Sinatra, you can stay in the Frank Sinatra room where Frank Sinatra stayed. John Wayne paid for the pool at the Perry Lodge because he came all the time and he was like, oh, I want to have a pool. So we paid for it, and that's the same pool that we use today, which was really cool.
Yeah, it's an absolutely amazing property. You can check that one out online too. I would recommend following their Instagram at the Perry Lodge.
Yeah, we got some cool stuff going on that one.
Yeah, we just posted some really cool reels to that one.
Next one that I'll talk about is another property we've never been to, and I'm dying to get out there, which is Soy & Tula Lodge. This was a cool one too because we took them through the full rebrand. We got a new name for them. They were formerly Sun's Lodge, and so it was so fun to create this thing based on all the information that the ownership and their management team shared with us, and we spent some time with them off-site in Vegas and built a really great relationship with them. And they just have the most magical space that I've ever seen, and I haven't seen it in person. I've only seen it through videos and pictures. Yeah, it's in BC.
Everything in BC is amazing, but this one is right on the edge.
They've got a whale, on Malcolm Island in the town of Soy & Tula. They've got a whale that they named Minky that like comes under the dock every day when they get back from fishing, and they told it like it's no big deal, like how we see deer, it's like, oh, there's a deer or whatever. But people who haven't been here are like, oh, a deer, that's amazing. And for them, they're like, oh yeah, it's a whale, comes under the dock every day. It's like, that's the coolest thing in the world. Like, people pay money to go see whales, and at the time, they only offered fishing tours, but now they're doing wilderness tours too, so you can go whale watching, and you can see bears, and you can see bald eagles and seals and all this amazing wildlife. And so it was really cool to build that because we were able to build new packages. Again, we told a completely new story digitally. We've created some supporting websites that give more information and can get you to where you need to go if you're interested in those kind of experiences. And they are, so sadly for them, with all the restrictions in Canada, they missed their whole season in 2020. Yeah. They missed their whole season in 2021. And we started working with them in 2019. So this is the first year they've actually been open in the 3 years we've been working with them. And they're just absolutely gangbusters. Most of their weeks are sold out. I think if you're interested, if you're listening to this, you're like, man, this sounds incredible, I want to go. And if you check out their Instagram, we've got Visit Soy & Tula and Soy & Tula Lodge. Check out their website, soyandtulalodge.com. I mean, it is world-class, out of bounds. And if you want to go, I know there's still some availability at the last part of their season. So I highly, highly recommend that property.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I lived in BC for a little bit and never got to see the ocean in BC. But I mean, anything in BC is going to be absolutely magical.
It's stunning. You fly in on like a prop jet, you know, or you take a ferry. It's very, very cool. It is an island. So then also we've got Hummingbird Villa. Hummingbird Villa is a luxury home that's just right at the base of Zion, right along the river, right next door to the Cliff Rose. And they just put in an amazing pool. So now you've got this beautiful home with all of the space to host your family or your extended family, and they've got this incredible pool that sits right in their grounds. And I mean, when you're in the water, you're just looking right up at the canyon. Hummingbirdvilla.com. If you're looking for a house to stay in and you want that Zion experience and you've got a larger group, that's absolutely the place to stay.
Right on. I'm out of people to talk about on my list.
So then the next thing I was going to talk about is some of our projects. So I'll talk about Mahilani. Mahilani is a Hawaiian skincare brand. That is not even open yet. We took them again through our branding process, created their digital assets, helped with their naming, helped with the design. They're getting close to being ready. It takes a lot to get like through the FDA to get all these things approved, but that was a really fun one. We picked that up in 2020 as, you know, all of our clients, all their business, you know, was in the tank or gone, completely non-existent. We had to pivot a little bit so we could stay active and stay busy. And luckily, Mahilani ownership is shared with Soy and Tula, so we were able to, you know, work with them and get that brand going. And it really kept us alive in 2020. Had we not had Mahilani Vibrant, as we know, it may not exist. So that's kind of a cool story. We also did Foz Glass. That's a glass company here in southern Utah. My wife, it's her family's business, and so that's why we took one that was kind of like outside of our niche. But that was really cool too. They had this huge history. They're third generation. They've been in business for 30 years, and because they're a glass company, it's not like they need to get all their bids from on. I mean, that's not even how it works, you know. Right. But we wanted people, when they were bidding these new jobs, if they were to research them online, to get the accurate story. And when they're in people's homes or when they're on job sites, for them to have the presence that was equal to the product that they were delivering. And so that one's been really cool. I'm super proud of that one. Check out FausGlass.com, F-A-U-S glass.com. We're really, really proud of what we did there. And the last one that's super exciting is Cars for Kids. That's our charity event that we've been a part of. Breck started working with them, I think, like 5 years ago. And we started working with them like in a capacity of Vibrant 3 years ago. And they donate to the Ronald McDonald House here in Salt Lake. Last year we donated $57,000, and we do it through creating just the most epic car rally that you could ever be a part of. I can't talk about where it's going this year because it hasn't happened yet. But last year we started in Salt Lake, went to Moab. We had dinner at Josie Wyatt's at the Hoodoo. So good. Stayed at the Element. Yep. Then we went on to Aspen and stayed 2 nights at the Ritz-Carlton. And then we went to, where did we go next? We went to the Broadmoor in Colorado Springs, which is one of the coolest hotels in the whole world. I mean, they got Rembrandt art just like in the hallways and stuff. I mean, it is unreal. You gotta check that one out if you're a hotel geek and you want to see an amazing property. But so we put on this huge event. We get as many sponsors as we can. People are paying a high dollar to be a part of it, and ultimately we're utilizing and flexing our hospitality muscles to try and save as much as we can on lodging and on food and all of those experiences, so that way we have more to donate to the charity. And last year was the most that we donated yet with $57,000, and we're hoping to beat that this year. But check out at c4k.com. Just an absolutely incredible event. It's put on by Lux Automotive. The owners, Cougar and Annalie, are just two of the greatest people you could ever meet. We should really, absolutely, cool. We should actually go to Lux and do it in Lux with all the cars. That's what we should do. I mean, their story is really, really incredible. Let's make a note of that for ourselves to do that. That'd be really cool. Like maybe when we launch the video for it after it's done.
That would be really cool.
Be a cool thing. But that covers all the episodes that we have. I mean, episodes. That covers all of our properties.
This is our fourth episode.
Yeah. That covers all of our properties. And we're excited to get into more detail about those at later dates. But I thought it would be good for you guys who are listening to kind of know, we already told you what Vibrant is and what we do, but now you can hear about who we do it with.
Yeah. This is a cool documentary for us too, because in a year it'll be fun to look back and be like, this is who we worked with. This is where they are today.
It's just always growing, and so.
Yeah, right. I mean, even over like the last 8 months. I mean,
Oh yeah, the growth has been exponential.
Change.
Really, since Spencer joined, finally we're able to have some purposeful growth, and it's been exciting and fun to work with all these new properties. And there's nothing more rewarding than seeing their properties grow and seeing that returning investment and the faith that they put in us.
We just have the best team, though. I mean, that's what makes it all happen.
Absolutely.
So, yeah. Cool. Well, thanks for watching this episode of the Virtual GM. Thanks for sticking along. Subscribe for more of this on iTunes, Spotify, or if you're watching on YouTube. Hopefully you enjoyed what we cooked up this time, and we'll see you next time.
And Sean Cannell and Think Media, shout out to you.
Yeah.
You better be watching. We're still planning on being your conference in a year, so
we're actually planning on speaking at it.
Right, that's what I mean when I say being there. So watch this video, give us any feedback you can. We're gonna get it all down by the time we come speak for you.
And we will ask you every time until you actually watch it.
And also, we will like every post you put on LinkedIn and comment and tag you back.
Thank you.
Have a great night, guys.